Not today, Bubba.
Go get him, Bubba. Love you.
Not today, Bubba. Gordy, can I bother you for a second? All right, folks, coming to you live here, episode 89, the Brilliantly Dumb Show. I am indeed Big Game Bob, coming to you on your local airwaves. However you're listening, whyever you're listening, my goodness, we're just happy you are indeed listening. Folks, we're coming to you early, we're coming to you often, we're coming to you hot. Now, we were supposed to have an audio episode, just me and you, talking the talk, walking the walk, getting to know each other a little bit. However, we have booked a very special guest by the name of Shooter McGavin. Some of you know him, Christopher McDonald, who is the actor, played Shooter McGavin in probably one of the best golf movies of all time, without a doubt, Happy Gilmore. He's an absolute electric factory, coming on to promote PGA 2K21, the golf game coming out. What better guy to do that than Shooter McGavin himself, absolute stone cold legend. Looking forward to that. I will close with an Ask Bob. It was a very special question that I do want to touch on that was asked to me, submitted in the Ask Bob segment, so we will do that after the interview as well. Before we go into the interview, I've been getting a lot of texts, people asking me, what's going on in California? Is California a shit show right now? And yes, with the whole coronavirus thing going on, it is, come to think of it, a little bit of a shit show. But Joe Rogan, the podcast king, the pioneer of podcasts, actually announced that he's going to be moving out of California to head to somewhere in Texas. I don't know where, because he has just gotten fed up with California, with the government, with the way people are living. There's a lot of homeless people coming out to California right now, enjoying the sunshine on whatever the street they are enjoying it from. Yes, there are a lot of homeless people right now. Rogan claims there's no accountability in California, and, went on a little bit of a politics rant as to. I'm one of those guys, if Joe Rogan says jump, I say how high. I mean, this guy, it's like every time he's on the airwaves, every time he's on the podcast, he can say something and just affect somebody's decision or anything just immediately. And I thought to myself, am I that clueless that I'm just not seeing what he's saying is going on? I'm always just having so much fun that I never stop to think about this type of stuff. I see a homeless person, I say hello. If I have change, I go to the change and see if I got a couple extra coins. If not, I tell them, sorry, I don't have a change. I don't think about this stuff. I don't think that there is no accountability out here. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm clueless. Could be. Could very well be. But I decided to venture away from my very own, the love of my life, Trader Joe's supermarket that I absolutely love. I said, you know what? I'm going to see what society is really like, what a premium grocery store. Go outside of that. Go outside of the whole Trader Joe's thing. Expand my horizons a little bit. Go into Ralph's supermarket. And you know what? I got to realize, once again, as always, Joe Rogan's right. Now, I don't know what Joe Rogan meant by no accountability, but when I say no accountability, I look at this 15 items or less line in the grocery store. And I got to tell you, that to me is no accountability. Is somebody going to fix this? Is this going on in other states where somebody could just bring 30 items through the 15 items or less? Who's in charge of that? And to be quite frank with you, Joe, again, I don't know if this is where you were going with this. It's certainly where I'm going to take it. There is no accountability at these grocery stores right now, folks. Just a total free-for-all in that 15 items or less line. Who's counting? Who's in charge of this? Who's going to send people to aisle 6 because they have 25 items, which is 10 more than the max amount of items? I don't know. Should it be me? Am I responsible for holding other shoppers responsible as well? And then you got this self-checkout line. Why is it self-checkout if you're never self-checking out? You got about three employees that just kind of roam the self-checkout area just to make sure you're not rattled. Because if you're 45 years of age or older, you're screwed when it comes to that self-checkout. They look at this self-checkout thing and they just absolutely panic. It's like a foreign language to them. And I got to be honest with you, I'm 27 years old myself. It is a complicated system. Can I grab the bags prior to checking out? They ask you how many bags you need. Are you willing to pay for the bags? You got to put the item on the scanner without taking the bag. If you put the item in the bag, it's got to go through the scanner. Nobody knows. No accountability. No accountability. But how could it be self-checkout if you're never self-checking yourself out? There's always 3 employees that just run right over to you the second you touch the screen because they know you're going to drop the ball. So why not just get rid of the self-checkout and add another aisle where those 3 employees are? You got 3 more aisles going down. Why does the cashier on aisle 5 not get a bagger, but the cashier on aisle 7 does get a bagger? You know how hard it is to clock out the groceries and bag them all at the same time? Let me be quite frank with you. There is nothing more awkward than standing over your groceries in the aisle and the cashier is bagging them and you're just wondering whether or not you should ask to help. It's just kind of like a helpless feeling because you don't want to reach over their counter and grab a bag and act like, you're not moving fast enough. But at the same time, I got this girl just hauling stuff into my bag, $250 worth of groceries by herself. Do I ask for help? And then you see the bagger clock back in at a lunch and he comes back to the line and you just see the cashier, just a face of relief. There's no greater feeling of relief than that bagger checking back in from lunch and he just starts mowing down your groceries. But why does aisle 7 get a bagger, but aisle 5 doesn't? I say we remove the self-checkout. I say we start holding people accountable in this 15 items or less. Love the concept of the 15 items or less. But guys, we got to stick to it. We absolutely have got to stick with it. So, Joe, I'm with you there. Am I going to move to Texas? Probably not. But let's get a little accountability where accountability is needed. Folks, that takes us over. Sir Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. Shooter. I'm going to try and get him to really stick out the guns like he did in the movie. This guy's primetime, big golfer as well. If you haven't seen Happy Gilmore, I just do not know what to tell you. I really don't. Here he comes, and then we close off with an Ask Bob that I've been willing to get to, that I've been really wanting to get to, that somebody submitted, I believe it was last week. Anywho, here he is, Shooter McGavin. I tell you, you got to be a busy guy recently, no?
Always busy, man. I like that. I like it that way. I like to keep going.
Dude, I got to tell you what, Chris, we are happy to have you here. You ready to rock and roll?
Man, I am ready to sing the praises of PGA Tour 2K21 because it's badass. What it is.
My guy, here we are, folks. PGA Tour 2K21 being released tomorrow, August 21st. With that, we bring in the face of golf for the past 24 years, no other than Sir Shooter McGavin. He's busting them out early. He's busting
I can't help it. I gotta do it.
Hey, Shooter, let me ask you something, okay? Happy Gilmore comes out in 1996. If somebody would have told you that whatever it is, 24 years later, that this movie was going to have so much longevity to it, that you would now be one of the faces of PGA Tour 2K21, what would you have said?
You're crazy. From your lips to God's ears, I would have said, because, it's been quite a ride. This movie has got legs, and new generations find it. I mean, I think we're in our 3rd generation now of people finding this movie and just digging it. So kudos to all the filmmakers and the cast and crew, and especially, Happy Madison Productions. They pulled it off. Judd Apatow and, Tim O'Hurley and Adam Sandler wrote it, and just had so much fun making that movie. Oh my God! But who knew? You never know. You never know it's going to be like that. So it's been a real joyride. I'll tell you that much.
Let me ask you something, Chris. How was it? Do you remember how the role of Shooter McGavin was approached to you, and did you have to work on your golf game for some of these scenes?
Oh, yes, I did. I had. They were kind enough. Well, how it got to me was Dennis Dugan, the director, met me in the lobby of the hotel in Vancouver. I had just finished a film with Ray Liotta, and I thought, okay. He says, "We got this part for you. You'd be great in it. take a read. And I read it, and it's really good, but I got to get back and see my kids. I've been in here for 3 months. It's time for me to get back home. What do you need? We'll make it happen. So they brought my family up, and first of all, I met Adam, and I just laughed for 20 minutes. And I thought, okay, this is going to be fun. And they were kind enough to get me, said, how's your golf game, Chris? I said, well, I'm not terrible, but I'm bogey golf. So okay, we'll work on that. They get Mark Lai, a pro. Mark Lai's a great guy. To this day, I applaud him. He's a good guy. I ran into him a few times. He was by my side. And in filming, as you know, there's a lot of setup time, hours go by, and then we're ready to shoot. So what we would do is just work on the short game. Boom, boom, boom. So
you said your short game was money while working on it.
It was money. And like what they had in the script, Shooter misses a 6-foot putt. Happy makes a 30-foot putt. And so the greatest way to try to miss it, of course, is to lip it out. So you try to hit it. And they kept going in. Sorry, I'll do it again. I'll try to miss it. And then they go to the editing room. They go, oh, it's really great when Shooter just puts these putts in, even after all the madness of the beach ball, and go back to your shanties, you people. And then to drain it, it's kind of funny. So that kind of stuff. It's just I'm just saying it was a good call. I'm so glad I decided to and I'm grateful to Bob Simons, the producer, who said yes to bringing my family up and putting me with my family, which is really important to me. And I embraced it. I just went out and did my thing, and my great wife took care of the 3 kids we had at the time, and wow, it just worked out really well.
Are there some scenes, Shooter, that take longer than they should have because you may not have had your swing that day, or Sandler may not have had that swing that day, to where it took a little longer than it should have? Or can all the features you guys have, you don't have to worry too much about the swing?
I wanted to have a really good swing, and that's what Mark Lai helped me with also. He said it's pretty smooth. I just want to keep it steady, and I want you to finish right, like this kind of stuff. So here's a little thing I've never told anybody before. There's only one scene in the movie took a long time because I was supposed to chip it over this, and I was supposed to hit it in the water. And if you look at the film, it's not me, because I tried 15 times. After learning how to do it really right and hitting down the ball and get that compression, now you want me to flop it into the water? Come on. So they got a double, and it's a faraway shot, and he flops it in, and he was a good golfer. And I didn't have that shot in my arsenal because I try to stay away from those kind of shots. And so Mark had a good laugh. He said, I got this guy who'll do it. Boom, boom, boom. One take, done. And I went, good, we'll move on. That was about it. Everything else was pretty boom, 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 man.
I hear this. I mean, I would need a stunt man throughout the entire film. God forbid I had to play one of the characters in that. At what point do you realize, okay, and as you're sitting here now, PGA 2K21, getting ready to come out tomorrow, is there a point sometime, at what point do you realize that you're going to be known by a lot of people as Shooter McGavin for the rest of your life, that there's no way out of that?
That's a good question. It didn't happen right away. At premiere there was a lot of love at the premiere at Universal, and it was it took some minutes. Then a little thing called television happened, and once the power of television is unleashed and it's on 3 times a day, guess what? People watch it, and when people watch it, eyes are on the prize. It's like, this is a really freaking funny movie, and that's when hey, Shooter, hey, Shooter, that kind of thing. Went to the airport just like, Shooter, and I go, yep, hey, you doing? And so it got to a point, it was pretty crazy. And I would just, basically just put the guns up there and go, yeah, how you doing?
So you will, if someone sees you will throw the guns up, no issue with that?
Not a problem. No, I've embraced it, man. It's all good. And I'm proud of the movie, and I'm proud that people really, and I'm grateful actually that people really love the hate the Shooter McGavin character. So, it's just, it's what every actor prays for. I mean, and what's terrible when you imagine it. So what else do you do? I mean, no, or they would say stuff like, so what do you do? I'm an actor. Have I seen you in anything? I mean, come on. So that you live that way for the first 10 years of your career, and then you get a hit, and it's like nothing wrong with a hit.
Beyond the hit.
Yeah, behind the hit. It's a global phenomenon.
What do
So,
you like? What
so
do you
good.
like on the golf course? Are you a guy? Do you like to get rowdy? Do you like to have drinks out there, or are you out there as the real life Shooter McGavin playing money games, a little more serious? What type of vibe are you, Chris?
I'm going to go with choice A. I like. I do a lot of charity golf. We raise good money. Actually, I was watching the gamers play this game yesterday, who are just phenomenal gamers. And they had a $5 million goal, and they doubled it. They made $10 million for St. Jude's charity, and I thought that was brilliant. So, and watching them play the game, I was like, oh, okay. But for me, it was like, okay, where was I? What was your question? Because I've been a little distracted. Your question
Well,
was,
I'm saying, when you go out there, what type of golfer are you?
oh, what kind of golfer am I?
Are you the
Yes, I
drink?
play a lot. You play a lot of charities, which I do, and I've met so many great people playing in their foursomes, and they pay good money to play with the shooter, and I get to kind of gauge what their
Looking
level of the
for?
game is,
Right.
and then I mean I can step up. I've definitely stepped up my game playing with the really good golfers, and I've definitely gone, well, where's the beer card? Because that's the way they want to play it. And so it's a very social game. I love that. I've made really great friends, like I've said. People like I go out of my way just to go and hang out with them again. And every year, sometimes I do this St. Jude event with Patrick Warburton's. And we raised he's raised like $200 million already.
It's incredible.
10 years he's been doing. It's incredible. And such a great cause. I'm going to play with Joe Namath's group. They do March of Dimes. That's on
Now
Long Island.
that's going to be
next month.
that you may get a Joe Namath. You got to think you're going to get the money game as well as you're also going to get that drinks are flowing type atmosphere too. No.
And playing with my heroes. I mean, I'm playing with all these great NFL players, ex players who are hobbling around the court because because they have their knees blown out or something. But they play so much golf and they're so smooth that I pick up. And again, they do like to raise a glass, and I'm all for that too, because I think swing juice is an important part of the game.
Is there an athlete or a celebrity that you've played with that you were just in awe of the fact that you're playing 18 holes with them?
Several, as a matter of fact. I mean, wow. Kenny Lofton.
Kenny Lofton, sure. That's a New York Yankee, Cleveland Indian right there.
You bet. Hell of a golfer. There's so many. I mean, even I play with amateur guys or CEOs of companies that are like, dude, you scratch? What are you, a +1? And then, it raises my game up. But I played with, over the 20 years I've been invited to be doing these things, I've played with so many great players. Even Joe Namath's got game. Joe Namath has got a golf game. He's really kind of steady Eddie. He's kind of fantastic. He's par's your friend, boom, hey birdie, boom, boom, boom. So I'm looking forward to that. I played with Jim Kelly. He became a dear friend. He's a pretty good golfer. I've won that tournament twice with really good guys.
Look at
again,
you. Okay, so you know what, Shooter, you're not so bad yourself. You won it twice.
Won it twice, but I'd say my short game. Thank you, Mark Lai.
Is that really what this Mark Lai must be spectacular? I heard you on the 4Play pod as well talking about this guy.
Yeah. He was the guy that the production got me, and he got him in the movie. It was great to have a pro in the movie as well. And he and I just hooked up, and he said, "Look, I'll help you." And I went boom, and we were just hitting balls, and then we'd shoot scene, and then we go back and hit balls. So my short game got really, really good. I became a really good putter, really good chipper, and from about 150 out, I got really good. Now off the tee, I can splay him like anybody else. I want to kill him,
We all do.
But we all do. And well, that one not gonna work right there. So sometimes I'll just go. I'll just do a 3-wood and hit it down there 220 and like that. But I tell you, Mark Lai really helped my game, and I ran into him recently at another event. And
Lord, I hope I run into him. I got to be honest with you here, sure.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy, and he's got a charity going too, so I'm going to go help him out too. Because I'm indebted to the guy. I just got to say. So.
When you go to these charity events, do you full on embrace the Shooter McGavin? I mean, do you come in hot in the Shooter McGavin character?
I feel it out. If there's a lot of shooter love,
yeah,
I can run with it. And there is a lot of shooter love. So, because what else? Anytime a sports thing, I go to I'll go to a tennis match, I'll go to a football game. It's shooter,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
I would love to know per day how many times you're throwing up the shooters. I'd put like an under
Oh,
over 2.5 a day. You think you're hitting over?
oh, I'm in over that. Yeah,
You're hitting over
I'm a
2.5?
yeah.
Holy shit. Grocery store. If you go to the grocery store, you're going to get a shooter coming out?
It's a given. Yeah.
That
walking
is
down the
spectacular.
walking down the street in New York, it's I count them by block. That was a pretty good block. That was 7 right there. It's not bad.
Just constantly throwing them up. Hey, how do you?
What's that guy doing? He's walking down the street like this. So funny.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
He's got Tourette's or something. I don't know. He's waving his hand around.
Hey, you guys kind of alluded to it a little bit in Happy Gilmore, and it was almost unheard of as far as some golf heckling in the crowd, a little more of that rowdier type atmosphere. You're seeing it kind of come to life a little bit more nowadays when we get fans back. Are you more of an old school guy when it comes to golf, or are you okay with kind of the younger generation be a little more rowdy, type deal?
All right, there are different levels. This is a good question. There are different levels. This is what drives me, my number one pet peeve. Guy's up, he's standing on a par 5, he's at the tee, and some idiot yells out, "Get in the hole!" Get in the hole on a par 5? Do you know how to play golf? Too much. It's crazy. And it just like, what are you doing? The cameras that's a little bit nutty. Poor Tiger, what he has done to this game cannot be underestimated. The man he's Tiger Woods. I worked at the Northern Trust I guess 2 years ago inside the ropes with him, and the man has to be in such a zone because they're constantly talking to him. You get up, Tiger! No, Tiger! Get the hole! It's like, oh. So that drives me nuts. But at the same time, that's the way that's what this game, I think, this movie, has made a lot of more people out there golf lovers. It becomes it's not that snooty, country club kind of, "Hey, Danny, how about a Fresca?" It's that kind of Caddyshack stuff. It's more people coming back out there, and everyone's playing, and you're playing in shorts, your hat's on backwards, you're just going like, let's grip it and rip it. And then, then you grow up, and then you have a kid, and then they watch the movie, and boom, boom, boom. So that's what I think that this PGA Tour 2K21 is going to be amazing for fathers and sons to get together. The kids are gamers, and they say, let's take that to the course and see how you hit that, see where the wind was coming from. And it's so deep. The depth of this game is it's ingenious, actually.
You know what I really, and I got to test the game out. You know what I really like about it? It's very realistic. I shot a 50 in the front 9 at TPC Sawgrass in this game, which is so realistic. I mean, it's a tough game, and it sounds crazy, but you almost think to a degree you could get better playing the game with the different things you got to go through, no?
Absolutely correct. That's what I love about this, because, I just think that if you start off early, you start up in the lower difficulties, and it's like, okay, and then you can get better and better and better. Take that to the course and go, damn, I birdied that hole. That's awesome. And then you get more of a feeling like, I got to get out there. I got to get out and do it again. And then you could raise the difficulty. And it's a challenge for a scratch golfer. These guys I was watching playing, they were damn good too. So anyway, it's an exciting thing. It's dropping tomorrow, and I hope it goes through the roof, because no one does it better than 2K21. That's all there is to it.
And you know what? Sorry about that, Chris. You know what I like about the collaboration too? A lot of these guys, they put them on the face of the video game and they promote it. You're not really sure if they play it or not. I could see you playing 36 holes a game, 36 holes a game on this.
Yeah, it's addicting, and I intend to do that, as a matter of fact. So you're spot on there, and I think that they got like a dozen or 15 pros that are also with the game, other than Justin Thomas, and great group of guys, and so they're really promoting the heck out of it because they know it's such a great product. And you could play any number of 15 courses right now. I'm sure they'll add more courses, like European courses. It's gold for golf right now. Golf got game, baby. And they're just going to make it better and better every new generation of it. So,
and those difficulty levels, the easy from the hard can really separate the men from the boys there. I recommend start on that easy level and then build your way up through this. No?
That's the way to do it because you feel pretty good. Hey, I did not bad out there. Yeah, okay, let's turn it up a little bit, challenge yourself a little bit more, and before you know it, you're playing like okay, pretty good. And then because you imagine if only one level, you go in and people,
Totally.
this game sucks, rage quit, fuck, I hate it, and they leave.
Totally. You
But
got to be able to crank it up.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another ingenious thing they put in the game. So I look forward to spending a lot of time with my son, who's got a good stick, but he just he thinks the game's boring. I went, okay, see how boring this is because he's a gamer. So we'll see. Yeah. So we'll do some trash talking and then take it out in the course, which is the ultimate goal.
Hey, Chris, I got to tell you, man, you are the absolute best. Tomorrow, PGA 2K21 drops. Before you go, I got to ask you to do one thing. Can I get this is Shooter McGavin, and you're listening to the Brilliantly Dumb Show?
Hey, this is Shooter McGavin, and you're watching and listening to the Brilliantly Dumb Show.
Shooter, you're an absolute legend. I love you, brother. Enjoy the game. PGA 2K21 coming out tomorrow. You take care, brother.
You too, bro. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you so
to
much. You're awesome. Shooter. I got to tell you, what a guy. What a guy. Shooter McGavin is so goddamn iconic in that movie, that character that he played. And it's one of those things, too, and I kind of alluded it to him. When you play that big of a role and for what he's done, there's no way you could see him and not think Shooter McGavin. And I guess it almost kind of hurts you in a way because, moving forward, it's like nobody could imagine you in any other movie without Shooter McGavin. I mean, that's what he's known for. Such a great guy. Damn good interview. Really enjoyed that. Folks, I'm not going to leave you just yet because it is indeed that time. Grace Ibrahim, wherever you are in the world right now, is there any way we could trouble you for a little bit of a drum roll, please? It's the Ask Bob segment, week by week, Tuesday after Friday. Following that Tuesday, I tell you, fine folks, file on in, submit your questions to the DMs to be featured on the Ask Bob segment. Folks, I got this question last week, and I didn't get to it because we had two interviews, Tyler Cameron, Rob Riggle, and I wasn't able to get to this Ask Bob question. And it's something I really wanted to touch on. I'm not going to say the name here, but somebody submitted an Ask Bob question to me, and it went like this. Hey, Bob, I recently got laid off from my management job at the Four Seasons Hotels. I was there for 6 years, and I know you have spoke about your times working there before you got into podcasting with Bro Bible. I was curious for your thoughts on the mass amount of layoffs the company has made with everything going on. Do you still feel the same positive way about them? And that hit very hard for me. It really does. As you all know, I was working at the hotel at the Four Seasons Beverly Hills. I've spoken about it numerous times, and that's what was always going to propel me to get into podcasting in this world, because you are meeting people and you are shaking hands at a Four Seasons hotel that are so high up, and they're CEOs and they're celebrities, and you're around these people constantly. And being in hospitality, and especially luxury hotels, it's such a privilege to be there because you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you are going to meet. There were so many people that I have worked with throughout the years that has been offered a job from a guest that was staying at the Four Seasons that drew a liking. When it comes to hospitality, I truly believe you don't need a degree. You either have the gift to be able to talk to people or you don't. You just have it or you don't. And being in a place like Four Seasons, it's just a special, special place. It really is. And they preach this family mentality to you. They're the top of the line. It teaches you working there more than anything how to bite your tongue, how to take the high road, because you are going to get guests coming to you, especially when you get into a management level position, with the most outrageous requests, with the most outrageous complaints you've ever heard. And you so bad want to say something to them, and you so bad want to rebuttal, but you just know you have no choice but to take the high road. And in life, sometimes, more times than not, you just have to take that high road because you're never going to get anywhere if you don't. You're never going to make any progress if you don't, especially something like that. And it just grooms you in that hotel. They are the best at what they do. And it really does they put you in this position to succeed. They want to see you grow. And I bought into it. I was drinking the Kool-Aid like no other. And I really mean that. I loved it there. I really did. I really appreciated what they do, benefits, all that stuff. Spoke their praises. With that being said, the coronavirus hits, and Four Seasons does a immediate mass firing. They just brought in the firing squad. Now, Four Seasons is backed by Bill Gates and a guy by the name of Prince Al-Walid. Money is not an issue for Four Seasons. Four Seasons is not bleeding money. I doubt they ever will be, regardless of what happened with COVID-19. But rather than stick it out and this family never quit attitude, rather than all of that and everything that they had preached to us, they just brought out the firing squad. And the layoffs they made were not educated layoffs in the sense of this guy's been so great for this company. This guy does this, this, and this. This guy's been here for this long, given the dedication, works 12 hours a day here. No, what it was is solely financial. It was from a financial aspect. They said, how are we going to save the most money? And there are people who were there working on working visas that busted their ass for them year after year after year and are damn good employees that are now have to pack up and head back to their home countries because their working visa is no longer valid. Good, solid employees, and they looked at it from a standpoint financially. How could we save the most money? And the reason I know that, if you look at the layoffs at the hotel that I was in, it clearly states that not the people that gave hours and hours and good, solid employees. They just wanted to save money. And I'd be lying to you if I told you that I wasn't extremely disappointed in them. And I know we always like to do comedy in this. I hate to do anything sad or serious on the show. I like to keep it light, but it had to be addressed. And I love that company. I really do. They gave a lot to me. I'd like to think I gave a lot to them. But seeing what took place and the firings that they made, it hurts. There was no regard for performance. There was no regard for years put in. Just, nope, we need to save money. This is how we're going to do it. This is how it's going to be. And to be quite honest, I am very disappointed in them. I mean, there are guys, some of my guys, there are guys that I have worked with that are now laid off that were just awesome employees with no job that just drank the Kool-Aid too, that loved Four Seasons. And to see what they did, to answer your question, and I won't name the name, it hurts. It absolutely hurts. I'm very disappointed in them as a company. I'd love to see them bounce back, but I'd be lying to you if I told you I was okay with the way they went about it, and especially by the hotel by me. And you know what? In their defense, I'm sure they would have a good reasoning from their standpoint, and they would probably say a few things that would make me say, okay, you know what? I didn't see that. However, let's call it like we see it. It just wasn't handled nearly the way that I thought Four Seasons would handle something. And it's not to bash them. I can't say enough how much I love them, but that's the God honest truth. When things got tough, you bailed. You folded like a cheap suit, and everything you preached to us was no longer valid. The family mentality, stick together, we're in it, we're with you. You folded. When things got tough, you folded, and you cleared house. And that's how I felt. That's how I feel. Folks, with that being said, hate to end on that type of note, but you know what? Sometimes Bobby's going to let it vent. That's exactly what I had to do there. This is episode 89. We will see you come Tuesday. The Brilliantly Dumb Show, we thank you for listening. As always, we got an audio day Tuesday. Folks, you take care now.